Sad news for so many music lovers. Grammy Award-winning singer Natalie Cole died at the age of 65. She was taken to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles on New Year's Eve, where she died of complications from ongoing health issues. The daughter of late singer and jazz musician Nat King Cole, and of course the former Duke Ellington Orchestra singer Maria Hawkins Cole. Natalie Cole rose to musical success with hits such as "This Will Be Inseparable" and "Our Love." After 8 albums in 1991, Cole released the single Unforgettable, in which Cole sang along with her famous father in a technical achievement never before done. Unforgettable with Love became her best-selling album and won her several Grammys. She collaborated with artists like Whitney Houston, Peabo Bryson, and so many others. In 2000, she released an autobiography called Angel on My Shoulder, which focused on her drug battle. In 2008, she was diagnosed with hepatitis C, followed by kidney failure. A number of folks expressed just stun and sadness at the death of Natalie Cole. I talked yesterday with Aretha Franklin about the impact of losing one of music's most beloved voices.
I just had to hold back the tears. Roland, she fought so hard, and I know she fought hard. We all knew that, I think. Just as the reports came out, what was happening, the hepatitis and the kidney problems, and she really fought some kind of battle there, and I just had to hold back the tears.
The thing is for her, had the kidney transplant in 2009. She talked about obviously the drug abuse, but the fact that she overcame all of that, winning the Grammys, the amazing technological advances, being able to sing with her dad, if you will. I mean, she really put the work in to put her life back together and to sort of have this phoenix rising from the ashes.
Oh, she absolutely did. But in the final analysis, it seemingly she had not overcome those things. And it seems that one thing was affecting the other. It's just so unexpected. It's just right out of nowhere. And just not quite ready for that.
What's the one thing that you want fans to most remember about her?
What I would love to see her fans remember about her, and I'm sure that they will, is that she was a very, very courageous woman, a very gifted artist, and she gave us some beautiful classics to remember.
B.B. Winan shared his thoughts about the beauty in his friendship with Natalie Cole. I talked to him as well.
Whenever I called on Natalie, she was always, yes. She was always, I'll be there. There was no big, iconic attitude of, you can't ask me to do this because that's below me. So she had this way about her that was classy. It was friendly. It was everything that you wish you meet up with when you meet someone of that stature. And she wasn't afraid to speak of her trials, her battles, her mistakes, so there was a human essence there that was, to me, just brilliant and vulnerable at the same time.
I talked with jazz musician Terry Lynn Carrington over the weekend, who collaborated with Natalie Cole on her last commercial recording.
Well, actually, it was my CD, the Mosaic Project, Love and Soul, that featured Natalie on the track, and that I produced, and it's an arrangement of a Duke Ellington piece called Come Sunday. This was, I think, the last commercially released recorded performance of hers. And I opened for her with my own band a couple of years ago, and that's when I asked her to sing on my record. And she was so gracious and agreed. And she just really put that extra effort. And it was a highlight from my career because when she came to the studio, she was sick. She had a bad cold, flu, and she just really made magic under really not great circumstances for herself physically. And I learned a lot, about determination and perseverance and really where your inner voice comes from when you're doing your art. So she, for me, was a total artist that crossed all the genres, really: pop, jazz, R&B, rock, gospel, and Brazilian music, too. And that's an example for artists like myself.
The founder of Radio 1, Kathy Hughes, spoke with Natalie Cole 10 years ago in a one-on-one interview that aired right here on the network. Here's part of that conversation.
Natalie Cole, welcome to TV One-on-One. I can't tell you how excited we are to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Kathy. It's a pleasure for me, too.
It's such a joy, after all these years, to be able to share you with our viewing audience. Now, I normally do my shows with childhood to the present. I want to reverse it with you. I want to start in the present and work our way back to your childhood.
Okay.
Angel on My Shoulder, you all get it. You will enjoy it. If you've never tried audiobooks, Natalie Cole will turn you into an audiobook fan. Why'd you do this?
The book in general, actually, I was asked to do the book about 10 years before, and I wasn't ready. I was just not ready. It's an emotional journey. I mean, I was a wreck when I did this one.
I wanted to interview you because you're Natalie Cole. But after listening to your book, your candor, your wit, your sincerity, the spirit of your book literally blew me away. Have you always been that open and candid about how you see life and how you see yourself?
You know, I look at some old interviews when I just kind of got started, and I think I have always been just a little bit outspoken and a little bit defensive, especially when I started off as Natalie Cole, the daughter of Nat King Cole. I was very temperamental and very impatient.
Angel on My Shoulder was made into a made-for-television movie directed by Robert Townsend.
Yes.
But starring you as yourself. How special was that, but also how difficult?
It was difficult. We chose several different actresses up until a certain age, and then we thought that it would be very effective for me to step in as the real me from a certain age on. It was a little therapeutic, of course. There was a lot of emotion on the screen.
You were reenacting parts of your life
some very difficult
that you had grown to hate about what you had gone through, and yet here you would have to go through it again.
Yeah, it's just about feeding into that pain. You never really close the door on certain experiences in your life because, first of all, it keeps you grounded, and second of all, it just keeps you grateful.
You're celebrating 23 years of sobriety.
Yes.
Big kudos.
Big deal.
Big deal. Congratulations.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Thank you.
I mean, that's so incredible.
I couldn't have imagined it in a million years, Kathy.
Over
that
2
my life
decades.
would be so different.
Wow.
And let me just say that on the serious side, again, it's not a door that you ever close. That's why you talk about I'm still sober after 23 years, or I am a recovering drug addict. It's important that the language be there because it's not something that's ever over. If I went out at the end of this interview and had some cocaine, I might never be sober ever again for the rest of my life. Not only that, it could probably kill me.
But how, in your profession, because you earn your living in the nightlife,
right?
How do you avoid the temptation?
It's really important to change your environment. I had to give up pretty much everything in order to stay sober. I had to give up boyfriends, certain relationships. I had to give up my home. I was in treatment with people who were recommended to get a divorce.
Really?
That their marriage was killing them.
Wow.
That the people they were married to were caretakers and would almost encourage them to get high or to drink, because it's alcohol or drugs. So it's a very, very serious solution. When you decide to get sober, you have to literally surrender yourself to the program and let these people tell you what to do, because it sounds crazy. Well, you're going to have to give up your boyfriend.
Or your husband or your wife.
You're going to have to move out of your house. You're going to have to leave your wife. What? If you want to live.
Even when you were in a drug-induced stupor, you still felt and knew the presence of God. You were aware of the God force working through you and in you and around you.
For me, in spite of me. And when I was even spending time in Canada, of course I had to be there because it was a legal situation, and even then I dreamt of my father and him trying to come and get me and pull me away from all of this.
You think if your father had lived, your life would have been differently?
It's very possible. It's very possible.
You were 15.
Yeah, when
you
passed,
lost your father.
9 days after my birthday.
Unforgettable with Love. Everyone knows, mega hit. 7 Grammys, 14 million copies. But I want to talk about the fact that you pioneered a technique that now has been used by everyone from Frank Sinatra to Ray Charles, and I don't see or hear you getting the credit for that.
I know.
They
I just had this conversation the other night with my sister. We talk about
Let's talk about that, because you opened a door. Is it true that it was your idea, it was your concept that this could work?
In the 1980s, I was performing up in Las Vegas. I had a musical director because I was working with a big orchestra. I think we were at the Hilton. And the first time that we ever put Dad's stuff in this show, it was, I'd done Mona Lisa before, but I think it might have been Unforgettable. And then it was a reel-to-reel. So it was like real crude.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, we'd have the orchestra on stage playing along with the track, and then they'd mute the reel-to-reel so that I could sing my part. Okay.
Wow.
All right. And it was so powerful and so impacting that I remembered that. It didn't really create some big hoopla just in the show itself, but it didn't, carry on until 10 years later when we talked about doing this record and picking one song to do a duet on. It was just a matter of what song would work, and everyone agreed that it would be Unforgettable, and we didn't know then what it would entail, the technology of trying to lift Dad's voice off of the track back then and put it on a brand new track. The other thing that Unforgettable created was that kind of music.
Yes.
Nobody was listening to that kind of music, Kathy.
Right.
You know that, okay? Nobody was listening to, the Ellas and the Sarahs, and all of a sudden, certainly no one had ever done anything of Dad's. Very rarely. Dinah Washington did the Christmas song years ago, but very rarely did anyone approach Dad's music. So not only was it technologically innovative, but bringing that kind of music back, the arrangements were really cool, and then to have his daughter take this music, make it her own, and it created jobs.
Yes.
The strings hadn't seen the inside of a studio in so long.
Right.
That's right. It was all electronic.
That's right. Synthesizers were the orchestra.
Musicians and arrangers were getting jobs again.
Right.
And artists were now going,
Last year you celebrated the 30th anniversary of your first album. Did you have any idea that 30 years later you would still be enjoying this level of popularity, and what's the secret to that type of longevity? Because, everyone, some of the greatest. You are really?
Yeah, I don't necessarily have a lot of faith in, critics who, they will cut you off at the knees,
Yes, they will.
They really will. They so often can make or break a career.
Yes.
My faith is in the people. My faith is in the audience. My faith is in radio, actually, the radio people. And that's really about it. Other than that, I have no real secret as to why I'm still here. Being in a musical family and with my dad and seeing the things that I did, I'm just all over the place. I'm a little schizophrenic, and sometimes it works for me and sometimes it works against me, but it keeps me interested. It keeps me passionate because I love so many different kinds of music.
Your father left an incredible legacy. You also will be leaving a legacy.
Wow.
What do you want us to say about you once Natalie Cole is no longer with us?
I guess I want people to think of me as someone who loved God, loved the life that He gave her, used the life that He gave her in a way that touched people, made them smile, and that she knew that she had one of the best jobs on the planet.
Kickstart your day at 7 and get the news you need from the perspective you want. News 1 Now with Roland Martin, every weekday morning at 7 on TV 1.